Hey, what I wanted to talk about, I haven't done this in a long time, and you know, I've been in this industry for a long time. Before I got in this industry, I was in traditional business, had been successful in that area, and when I came to this industry, I wanted, you know, to figure it out and figure out what was right and what was wrong. And it's like anything. I mean, there's people who do things right, and there's people who do things wrong. It has nothing to do with the industry. It has to do with what people do with it. I mean, I could say the same thing about government, same thing about schools, same thing about actually religion. There's people who do, believe it or not, religion wrong, as good, great as a thing as that is. And the same thing happens in this industry, and I think I just want to educate you a little bit to understand this industry so that you more appreciate what you have with prepaid legal. Because believe me, prepaid legal is head and shoulders above what I think any other company in this industry has. Number one, from value of the product, from separation, from what I call differentiation of other people out there in the product, and a product that other people really can't duplicate. And all too often in this industry, there's a lot of things that come along that may confuse you. Some of you have been around for a while, and now that you're in the industry, you hear of other opportunities, right? And if you're new, it will happen to you. And, you know, just recently I was sitting with actually just a couple days ago, I spoke at a symposium in Dallas, Texas, where there was about 130 of the top companies in this industry represented, about 250 executives there. And I was opening a talk of that day. John Addison, who we all well know from Prime America, the CEO of Prime America, was the closing talk. And, you know, you get to associate with some really neat people, some powerful people, people of integrity and character that do it the right way. And we were talking, and one of the things when I was talking to some key individuals there was, you know, what have you seen in the industry lately that's really good? And between us all, and we pretty much know the industry, we could only think of 6 companies in the last couple of years that even launched that were doing over $1 million a month in sales, about $12 million a year in sales. Now, if you looked out there at the hundreds of companies that have launched, you would think it's a lot larger, okay? But that's about as many companies that we could come up with, but although there's a lot of other ones out there. And so what you find out is going on in this industry right now is that people are kind of slicing and dicing and repackaging and rebranding the same old story. I mean, if you've seen all the different bottles out there, juices, and everybody's got their different herb they attach to that juice, and they have another new oxidation stress release antioxidant product that, you know, they got from some panda bear in China or whatever it might be, okay? And they all differentiate themselves with some herb and make you think that they have the unique access to it. And because it was easy to do, everybody's come out with their version. Now there's 50 of them. And because they built a billion-dollar category around that, now Walmart has it, right? And Walgreens has it, and they're selling it. They're selling for $60, for $14. That's not a good business model. Would you not agree? And so, but still, again, basically what's going on out there is a lot of, you know, slicing and dicing that same category. And you really, if you look at it, about 18 months ago, that category stalled. And I know the numbers. That category stalled, and most of the companies in that category are backing up. And they've been backing up, because they couldn't withstand the test of time out there in the marketplace. As a matter of fact, there's some even crazier ones that have launched lately. There's a new one that just came out. They're selling, now this is very unique, bottled water. Okay? But why theirs is, your differentiation from the grocery store is you can get their case for $55. Okay? So you can pay 3, 4, 5, 6 times more. But theirs is alkaline. Well, you can get alkaline water at the grocery store too. You can go to Whole Foods and get in a big old bucket if you want, okay? But 1,500 people showed up at their lunch because they thought there was something there. Bottled water. Now, how kind of lifetime can that have? There's even worse when the one just came out. Thousands of people joined it very quickly for 4 times the price that it costs to get involved with prepaid legal. And they have a hologram with stickiness on it. And you put it on you, and it makes you spiritual. And people are racing to it. It won't be around a long time. There's another one came out. This is one that cracks me up. If you'll go out, here's what you got to do every month. You got to get 10 license plate numbers. And you write these down, and you send them in with your money every month. And we're going to put it in our database. And you're getting paid for helping us build a database. I can buy 10 million numbers if I want to, okay? That is pretty much public knowledge. You can get that. It's a scam. And people are lining up. People are getting involved with it, and it's hundreds of dollars to get involved. Now, will it withstand the test of time? Come on, get serious. Well, that's what goes on out there a lot of times. I'm not saying all the companies, but you're going to see that kind of thing. There's a lot of wolves out there in sheep clothing taking people into things that will not withstand the test of time. Well, that's not what's going on with prepaid legal. We are so unique and different from everything else out there. So unique. The number one thing that regulatory people look for is value. The number one first thing they look for is value. Is your product have a value? I don't think getting license plate numbers has a value. I don't think a case of bottled water at $55 has a value. I don't think a hologram that you have to spend huge amount of money for to put on you to get spiritual really has a value. It can't withstand the test, okay? But it happens out there. But the first thing they look for is value. The other thing they want to see is that they want to see that there's customers. That pretty much the Attorney General's rule of thumb is about 5 customers, or they call it users, versus participant. That's somebody who gets a check. Matter of fact, that comes from what's called the Amway case law and omnibution case law that kind of drives the entire industry. Because this industry, you're kind of going down the narrow line between sweepstakes, between biz ops, between lotteries, laws. You got to stay right down that narrow law. And there's some case laws that drives it, okay? And one of the rule of thumbs is 5 to 1. Prepaid legal has the most customer base of any company I've seen out there. But that people getting a check versus people getting the product. I would venture to say we have the highest ratio of any company in this industry. A lot of companies out there, it's 1 to 1. The only reason a person would get the product is to get the opportunity. Why would you buy a case of bottled water for $55? Other than you're buying into the opportunity, you're really getting a product was nothing more than an excuse to launder money amongst friends. Going out there and getting license plate numbers is nothing more than an excuse to launder money amongst friends, right? It's a scam. And eventually we'll get found out. And people always go, well, how can they survive? Well, believe me, the regulatory people are busy. Why? Because there's a lot of cuckoo, dishonest people out there, okay? Doing things like this. And it takes a while for them to find them. And I always used to think that the radar was about $50 million as a company. And once you got above that, you finally got big enough so they paid attention to you. I think it's gotten even higher now. So I've seen things like this go along for a year or 2 years. People go, well, we've been around for a year or 2 years. It must be good. And eventually it gets taken down every single time. You have to look for it. Is there value? You got to look for it. Would somebody want this product at the price you're selling it? We have people in prepaid legal who make 6-figure incomes who do not recruit. There's no other company in this industry where people are making 6-figure incomes without recruiting because their product can't stand on its own, okay? So you have value. You have participant users. But, you know, when you think about prepaid legal, I don't know if you understand the word actuary tables means. What actuary tables were, it's something that comes mainly from the insurance industry, but you can look back on your business, okay, your book of business, and because of historical data on how long the people stay on the books, you can project forward the value of that book, okay? And that's why we can prepay 12 months of commissions. You think that owner of that bottle company is going to prepay 12 months of commissions on that deal? Because that is such a solid business model. You think they're going to prepay 12 months on driver's license number, driver plate numbers or holograms because that is such a solid business model you can project its value forward? No, they're getting their money going, I just don't know how long these fools are and kept sending it to me, but I'm going to take it as long as I can. And you know what they do? They just go do another one. I don't mean to be up here sounding like I'm being negative, but I am negative to a point. I can't stand that stuff because we have an industry that's beautiful. It inspires people to become entrepreneurs. It inspires people to take responsibility for their life. And it can really be a great thing in people's lives. But like anything else out there, will be bad things. I almost call this like, if you want to prevent yourself from getting the flu, you have to do what? Get the inoculation, right? What is that? It's a little bit of the flu. What I'm giving you here is a little bit of the flu, okay, in the industry. But you've got to understand that because these things out there are like that. There's no company, in my opinion, out there that remotely has the value for the product. I really believe this at the bottom of my heart, and I was very big in marketing before network marketing industry. I do not know of one product out there that I've ever seen or experienced or know of right now that for the amount has a better value than what prepaid legal's membership is. I really believe that. Not just in network marketing, in anything. It has the highest. I can't imagine when you go out for $25 and get what you can get with prepaid legal's membership. The highest value I know of out there. I just can't think of any other company out there that remotely even approaches us. When you talk about user versus participant, bar none, I can't even think one other company has more people just using the product versus people participating in the compensation or the business opportunity. And that really is the litmus test, especially when you consider people making a six-figure income without even recruiting. And then we start looking at what I'm talking about, the actuary table. I think we're the only company I know of in this industry and in the history of this industry that can run an actuary table, maybe other than Prime America, okay? They can run an actuary table based on a book of business that people pay for on a regular basis, because of that historical data. We have historical data going back a couple of decades, okay, that we can project what it's going to be worth going forward. And what that means to you is that you can project that because you have a real product with real value, with real customers, you have a real future. Okay? You're not betting on water, you're not betting on license plates, you're not betting on holograms, you're betting on a real category, legal services and identity theft, with a real company, 38-year-old, 70-year-old company, stock exchange company, with a real product that is unique and proprietary to them, and we don't have any competition. There's not 50 other juice companies out there. And 50 other companies could start a license plate company. Could you not agree? It'd take me about $200 to start that company. Go get some license plate numbers. Whoa, okay? I mean, so it works, there'll be more people doing it. There's nobody even doing what we're doing here. Why? This is hard to do, to build a closed provider attorney system that gives us the value that we get for $25 or so where you're at a month. There's no company out there that even has the value we have. So I say that to say this to all of you, is because of that, you have more than any company in this industry, or more than any associates distributors in this industry, I believe you have the most solid, guaranteed, long-term future with significant growth ahead compared to anything else out there. God bless you all. See you guys tonight. Thank you.